This is Stop Playing Podcast with Sham and Shaka. I'm Sham.
I'm Shaka. What's going on, Sham?
Not much. It's a Sunday night.
It's good to see you again.
That's about it. That is about it. Isn't it always great to see me? This lovely smile. So what's been going on?
Smile. It's been good. Life's been good. I'm fully vaxxed and out and back, I guess.
It's been 3 weeks. I guess it has, huh?
Yeah.
Pfizer? Yeah, Pfizer.
Look, Pfizer and by Pfizer's media team, nobody else. Because they don't like Pfizer's media team has been putting out bad stuff about everybody else, in my opinion. In my opinion, I feel like everybody's been the same, but the media has been putting out bad stuff about all the others.
The only reason I mention it is because, you have to wait an extra week for Moderna. So I was just trying to clarify which one you got, because Moderna, you have to wait 4 weeks in between the two shots. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, definitely. I'm good with Pfizer, but yes, I know that definitely difference between Pfizer and Moderna. How's your week been?
It's been very chill. Haven't done much of anything, which is alarming because I need to be doing something. But it's been pretty good.
Well, that's good. My Wizards just won. We've won 8 straight games. We're going to talk about that in sports.
It's the year of the trash comeback, because aren't the Knicks like on some type of tear as well?
Correct. Yeah. We're not trash, though. The Knicks are trash. We're not. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to subscribe to that theory, but we'll talk about that in sports. That's fine.
I don't have a dog in that race, so they all trash to me.
Yeah. Yeah. The year the dog, the year the not trash is what we are. But in general though, it's been a good week. It's been actually a good couple weeks. No side effects from the vax. My mom got vaxxed. I didn't want to say it because she didn't want to say it out there, but now that we can say that she got vaxxed too. So that was good. And she's been no side effects whatsoever. So that's good also. I mean, actually, she would probably disagree with that, but the point being, she's fine now. So that's the good thing. And beyond that, we're approaching summer. So it's like April, 26th today?
Almost.
Yeah. So April 25th, excuse me. We're approaching the summer. I mean, mid-spring. A lot of people are out. They shouldn't be, but I guess we're in that middle stage where nobody really cares, which is kind of the stage of the whole pandemic. So other than that, nothing really special for me either. No Sham story time? No wrongs?
Nope.
You haven't been wronged in a month?
Nope.
I found out how to believe.
Either I haven't or I forgot. So it must not have been wronged enough.
Or you wrote a letter and your wrongs got righted. Has that happened? You should tell the family when you right a wrong, your letters get rectified.
I mean, the next time I write one, maybe, but I have not been writing any, so I don't have anything to tell them.
But have you had a situation in which you wrote a letter that you talked about on the show and the situation got righted?
I mean, no, they just give you free shit. They give you either a gift card or they tell you to come in and eat something for free.
Wouldn't that be righted?
No, not if the behavior doesn't change. All it does is pacify the customer.
So my point being, they responded to your letter, though.
They always respond.
Okay. All right. No problem. I would consider that at least a step towards the right direction.
I mean, honestly, that's why I don't think a lot of times I feel like people do that because they know that's the outcome. Like, that's why, like, if it's something really important, I will say something. But in general, if it ain't that bad, I don't say anything because all they're going to do is say, hey, we've heard your concern. Here's a $25 gift card. Come back.
Like, I mean, but you do take advantage of the gift card.
Not always.
What do you do with it if you don't take advantage of it?
Either I don't use it or I give it to somebody else.
Okay. And then they use it.
Yeah.
Right? Because I will take that immediately. Next time you don't want to take advantage of that right, give it to me.
Sure.
And that's, I mean, $25, even at the worst place, that's 2 drinks. Like, no cap. Yeah, I'll take that. And I'll give them a week. Like, that's sham story time right there. On your tab. How would you like it?
I suppose.
That's fine. I'll enjoy it a lot more than apparently you would. Now, we got some news though this week though. It has been a somber week. Derek Chauvin. Sham, where were you when you saw the verdict?
I didn't see the verdict. I think I was watching Falcon and Winter Soldier or something. I was watching something on TV.
On Tuesday?
I was watching something. I don't remember what it was, but I was watching TV and it wasn't that. And my friend was here and he looked at his phone. He was like, oh, shoot. Derek Chauvin was convicted. I was like, oh, word? Okay. That's how that went.
Okay, so after you found out, did you have any feelings about it?
I felt like, okay, great. Someone finally got convicted. And then I said, okay, I want to see what this sentencing looks like.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be for a couple months. Yeah, I mean, that the jury went out on Tuesday, on Monday night, actually. And they came back on Tuesday. So that was the first surprising thing. Like, we have a verdict. It was like Tuesday afternoon. So it was maybe 10, 11 hours. And then a lot of times with these high profile cases, a quick verdict, usually in most cases, and you can speak to this, means a quick, like, guilty verdict. But in the high profile cases, it's meant in non-guilty verdict, an acquittal. But in this case, it didn't mean a guilty verdict. But a lot of people were nervous about it. And so that was kind of the buildup. Because when they found out they had a verdict, there was maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours in between once they found out they had a verdict and when it was read. And a lot of people were nervous about that. Especially a lot of Black people. So, but
yeah, they were nervous and there was an outpouring of emotions I saw on TV. Lots of people were crying and lots of people were like just crying, kind of like happy tears and then kind of closure tears, you know, because anxiety can build up inside of you and then you can feel sort of a relief when things are settled and it's the outcome that you like. So I think a lot of people were very emotional about that. I wasn't too emotional. I kind of felt in my gut that it was going to happen this time. But again, I'm more interested in what the sentencing is going to be.
Yeah, I wasn't too emotional either. I certainly wasn't like celebrating and doing all that and crying and all that. So I agree with you. And the sentencing will be interesting. there was a lot going into the charges. So, at minimum, I mean, he should be facing 20, 25 years to life. He had third-degree murder charges, second-degree manslaughter charges. You overlap all those, I would think 20, 25 years at minimum. But he's going to appeal those, too. I mean, he had the look of a man who was genuinely surprised that he got the guilty verdict in the first place and immediately was planning his appeal. So that's...
Yeah, but do you know how long it takes for appeals? I mean, folks be sitting in jail for years before they even get an appeal. So
I think he thought of that. Where's he going? Yeah. I'm going to sit in jail and appeal it. Yeah.
So that won't stop him from getting locked up.
No, he's getting locked up.
He's locked up now.
I mean, hey, listen, a lot of people put a lot of stock in the fact that he got cuffed at that moment. That was a big moment for people. Mm-hmm. And look, again, I wasn't too sentimental about it, but it was significant to see him get cuffed and let out of the courtroom. Is it a bellwether moment for racism in general? No, but for this case and seeing it from beginning to end, yeah, you know what? It's significant to see him leaning on George Floyd's neck, and then the bookend of that, him being led out of the courtroom for it in handcuffs. It's a good thing to see. Like all other contexts aside. Now, it's not going to heal, or not even heal. It's not going to start the bridge or the racial divide in America. Of course not. And is it going to solve policing in America? Of course not. But I think a lot of people said, look, this case needs to have a logical ending. And that was, to a lot of Black people, a logical ending. So, good. So that was that. Now, that same day, within an hour of that, Ma'Khia Bryant gets shot. Now, Shem, have you been following this?
I haven't been following it, but I did see the video, and I thought it was interesting that the body cam footage was released so soon. Obviously, the police were trying to get ahead of it because they normally don't release it that quickly. It usually takes a while. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think a lot of people felt like, they're very strong in their opinion that this was like another instance where a cop kind of, took some liberties that they shouldn't have taken. But I don't know. When I see that video, I'm just kind of like, this little girl was wilding. It's not like she was some just random person standing around and got grabbed up and was, brutalized by an officer. She was literally attacking someone with a knife. So, it's for me is gray. It's not as is like a clear, and that's gonna be an unpopular opinion. I get it.
No, I mean, look, this has caused a complete civil war amongst Black people. This is the next civil war. I've seen the video several times, and, I think this falls in the category of a lot of people can be wrong. The cop was wrong. He rolled up there and yes, he says, stop, but he definitely didn't ID himself as a police officer. But a lot of things were happening at the same time. So that's what it is. But the point being, he did not ID himself. And man, it's just too many wrong things. There's so many wrong things with this situation. So he's wrong. He jumped out there and basically shot at her without really trying to do anything else. A lot of people are talking about like, well, she was getting ready to stab the other. That was a woman she was getting ready to stab. So let's talk about how there were adults there to jump this young girl. Okay. And her father was out there fighting people. Look.
So was that knife that she had in defense of someone attacking her? Like, is that how it is being?
Yeah.
So those girls were trying to jump her, so she ran and got a knife.
Those
women.
The whole fight started because they showed up at her foster home to jump her. Yeah. And look, I posted this and I mean it. The one thing I'm sure about this whole situation as it continues to unfold is that young child was failed on like multiple levels.
Oh, she was failed way before that day.
That's my point. Leading up to and including that point. So like, you know, her having the knife in her hand, her not, or her doing whatever, that she didn't stand a chance at that moment because of everything that happened up to that moment. And she was failed. I mean, adults all over the place, not stopping it. Like all of that. And that's what's so disgusting about it. And, you know, I almost fell down a rabbit hole and got into an argument with somebody online because it's so caustic. And they took my meaning like, oh, I want to find out what happened. And they're like, why do you need to find out what happened? All we know is that the cop shot the girl. Okay, I need to find out what happened because
you do need to know what happened. That's why it's called an investigation.
I need to find out what happened because I can blame the cop and I can spread that blame pie around. And that's what, in my opinion, us Black people need to do more. Okay, I'm not even talking about police shootings. I'm talking about in general. What was that young girl doing there? Why did she feel like she had to be in that situation to act like that? Where she felt like nobody, even though her father was 4 or 5 feet away from her, she felt like nobody was there for her where she had to do that. That young girl was failed. Period. And so that's what makes me the most sad, the most angry about that whole situation. And I feel like we should go from there. And if the cop needs to get locked up, lock him up. Because, yeah, on its face, yeah, that's a cop shooting. But we as Black people need to dive deep into that. Lock him up and then keep going after that. So that's my
I do agree she shouldn't have died. I think that if he was going to shoot her, shooting to kill was not the right move. Now,
I mean, real quick, let's talk about that, though. I mean, shooting, if you're shooting, what are we shooting for? Are we shooting to kill what? Like, we can't, the shooting in the leg, like Sean Taylor died by getting shot in the leg. Like, you can't marksman that, you can't, like, depend on that kind of marksmanship. I guess is my point. And you can't do warning shots, like a lot of people say. You cannot shoot like in the air. Like that's not allowed. Nor should it be, because bullets ricochet all over. So what can you do? I'm not defending the cops. I'm just saying you can't. If we're shooting, we're shooting. Right?
Well, she shouldn't be dead. That's all I'm saying.
But we agree on that.
I'm not going to sit here and say this girl was an innocent person who didn't find herself in a horrible situation. I'm just saying this is very different from somebody who just gets pulled over and complies and gets killed. I think there's a different line here.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, she got failed. I think we both agree on that. She shouldn't be dead. She got failed by the system, and then let's trickle it down from there. It's horrible. Now, Vax, man, have you been seeing what's going on in India?
Nope.
It's like code red over there. It's horrible. Like 350,000 plus a day. And they're tripping because they're saying that the raw materials that they need to make more vaccines are coming from here, and we've cut the faucet off. And on top of that, they're saying that so that's they are AstraZeneca, like they are AstraZeneca. That's their main one. But even beyond that, they're saying that Pfizer, Moderna, like if they would lift the temporary sanctions they have on like patents, they will be able to create basically the formula for Pfizer and Moderna over there and be able to help their people. But Pfizer and Moderna aren't going to do that because that's money. So you know what? They're appealing to Uncle Joe, and Uncle Joe says, Sham, that he's going to do it. He's gonna try to talk to Pfizer and Moderna, help the Indians out, help the rest of the world out, because it's not just Indians. The rest of the world are like, hey, listen, we need to like get the rest of the vaccine out and help us out. So they're pressuring him because they're trying to make him feel bad. So they're pressuring him. And he's gonna work with him. Because Uncle Joe's nice. What do you think about this? What do you think about all this? Not just that. What do you think about all this situation?
I feel like, isn't that why there's a UN and what's the other organization that all the
World Health?
WHO. I mean, isn't that why we have these?
Well, they're the ones coming to them. Like,
I
hey,
mean,
man,
but isn't that why? Isn't that the whole point?
I mean, they're saying, hey, we've all got together and we decided this is the solution. They're like, this is the solution. You need to help them out.
This is why Trump didn't want to be a part of it.
Oh, nah. Listen, he told you straight up.
No.
Listen, don't worry about it. Figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. But
I think it's this is what you should do. I mean, we do this for all other types of things that we have: merchandise, goods, all these things that we, import, export all over the world for different types of reasons. Why not do the same with the vaccine? All it does is help everybody, because the world wants to travel again. And if you can't get people going into India, you can't get the commerce coming into India, you can't get the people flying in, the vacation money that they earn, like, you're not going to be able to get any of that stuff if we don't help some of these other countries get their vaccination numbers up. And I literally just went online. This literally happened on Friday afternoon. I was at the car wash waiting to get my car washed. I'm having a phone conversation with my uncle who was saying, oh, I got to wait till May such and such to get vaccinated. I wish I could get it sooner. While I'm talking to him on the phone, I go on my phone, go to CVS.com, find him an appointment for the next day. Actually, they still had appointments for the same day that I was talking to him. So it is at this point, you can pretty much get vaccinated at any moment, at any time. So that's how many available that we have. Why not just send them? I mean, I remember a time when I had to get up early in the morning and stalk these websites just to get myself an appointment. Now it's easier than ever to get an appointment here in the United States. So if it's that easy, that means that either one thing has happened, so many people have gotten vaccinated that the need has gone down. And two, we've gotten so many available vaccinations that if that's the case, we might as well just send them to help some of the other countries.
Agreed. And, I put it like this. The virus doesn't care what country is what. If we don't have the other countries, it'll come back and haunt us.
Exactly.
Like, that's the bottom line. Like, if we, I've heard it's 20 different variants, quote unquote, in India. If we don't get that under control, it will come right back here and screw us up. So we might as well make this a collective effort. The virus doesn't care. Why should we?
It showed them didn't care because it didn't stay in Wuhan.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't care. Why should we? Now, that being said, I'm going to need Baltimore to get it together. If I was a Johnson & Johnson executive, I would be I would be talking about Baltimore like 45 talked about Baltimore based on that little plant that they got up there.
Oh, emergent solutions?
I mean,
emergent solutions or whatever they're called.
The Baltimore plant is the single reason Johnson & Johnson's name is like mud out here. Right.
No, it's also the blood clots.
But I feel like in conjunction with the blood, because the blood clot story statistically is infinitesimal, right?
Yeah, it's 6 out of 7 million, pretty much.
Exactly. But then you combine it with the Baltimore plant, and it's like, wait a minute. So what we're talking about is Baltimore's like distribution plant has found to be just completely like non-compliant.
Yes, it's a scientific lab. They do this all the time. They make vaccines, they do medicines, they do all types of stuff for different companies all the time. So it's a company called Emergent Solutions Inc. It's in Baltimore. They kind of contract with the pharmaceutical companies. They redistribute their pharmaceuticals or whatever. So they have been dropping the ball at every turn where Johnson & Johnson is concerned. If I'm Johnson & Johnson, I'm like, yo, breach your contract. We pulling our stuff, deal dead, moving on.
Correct. We're going through the Potomac, or we're going through Richmond. We're
going someplace else. Delaware. Because y'all just jacking up.
Like y'all can't put one foot in front of the other. Y'all can't get y'all stuff straight.
First, they put the wrong ingredient in 2 million doses. And then they found that some doses, a different set was contaminated.
Right. Like, y'all can't get right.
Just, we out of here. We done. No, like, just no. Rip up the contract. We out.
Like, be more like Omar stole the good package. Prop Joe can't get a good package after that for the vaccine. Like, stop. That's a wired joke for y'all. Man, some of y'all. Most of y'all should know that. Man, I
feel like as soon as you said Omar, it was ready to go.
But some of them don't know it, Sham. I don't know. It's sad. But Sham, look, we'll wrap up the news with a favorite segment of mine. Look, first of all, this combines everything that we've been talking about. At the end of the first season, we talked about the government lady who was stealing hours and all that. It was one of my favorite segments ever. And
overtime we got and holiday pay.
That's right. Episode 19, I want to say. And we got an Italian lady who as with most of these kinds of things, is the best version is in Europe. The Italian version of this is spectacular. The king of absentees is what this man was called. Okay? My man been skipping out on his time clock for 20 years. 20 years. I saw this. I was like, we got to talk about that. We got to introduce with that. It's spectacular. A public sector worker described as the king of the absentees by the press has said to have broken the national record by allegedly skipping work for 15 years, Sham. Excuse me, 15 years.
How did 15 years go by and no one knew that he wasn't around? He works in a hospital, for Christ's sakes.
I mean, Sham, they said one time the hospital apparently is near his apartment. So not only one time, but multiple times, that man woke up in his drawers, came downstairs, clocked in, went back upstairs. Because it's adjacent. They say clocked in his underwear. And that was one of the actually, and you know what? They were bringing up other Italian workers who were clocking in. People's wives were clocking in for them. Apparently, this is a huge problem. This is in Italy, guys. So, and these are government workers. So even the hospital that you're talking about was affiliated with the government. These are government jobs. Government corruption apparently is a huge problem there. And people clocking in, not working is a huge problem there. I just remember the guy clocking in his underwear and then going back to bed.
This dude was getting paid £538,000 a month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A month.
They said in the investigation code name, I like the investigation name, part-time.
Code name part-time.
They gathered the evidence.
Oh my gosh. And so apparently they did catch him at some point and he made threats against the hospital director to stop her from filing a disciplinary report. So she was so afraid to even file a report. She just let him do it.
God. Apparently this is a huge problem in Italy. Apparently they think this is okay. And they have been saying Americans work too hard. Like they're on the y'all should have a 3-day weekend. What are y'all doing?
Dang, even the police was doing it. God.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody's down for that. But again, I like the dude who rolled out of bed.
That was a police officer.
Left. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. In another case, a police officer was filmed clocking in for work in his underwear because he lived in the same building. He was acquitted. So, yeah, I'm sorry. That's not the guy we're talking about. The cop was acquitted. The guy who clocked in his jaws, he was acquitted.
He was acquitted for accusations of fraud.
Accusation of fraud, not this.
He just got all types of stuff going on.
Once you get off for fraud, it's like, hey, man, you know what? I got this system. I got it under control. But yeah, I like stories like that because it takes us back to a lady. I know she's sitting in jail right now. Like, what they do that I didn't. She was like, at least I came to work. Yeah. She was like, at least I came to work. File her little, payroll.
No, you can't get away with that in Virginia.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't get away with that.
But in the Calabrian city of Conzenzaro, you can.
So you got anything else for news? Because that's all the political world news we got for tape.
Let's get into some entertainment. Shocking. Man,
yes.
Did you see the verses on 420 with Method Man and Redman?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God.
I saw all y'all reaction to it. So you lay this out for us.
It was, remember how before I said the best verses was DMX and Snoop Dogg?
So this is better than that? That's what you're saying?
Out of respect for the recently demised DMX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to still say it.
I'm about to say it.
This versus was by far the most entertaining versus I have watched of all.
Okay. Was it the best?
All of them. I would have to say it was the best because of the entertainment value. I mean, Method Man and Redman went for 3 hours. 3. They had like one small intermission. It wasn't even that long, but DJ Scratch made you feel like it wasn't even an intermission because he just kept spinning during that. And all the 90s hip hop joints was coming out. Man, when I tell you, they had everybody from the Hit Squad. K Solo came out. Keith Murray was there. EPMD came out. When they did, oh my God. I felt like I was like a teenager again. It was so, it was so great.
I mean,
RZA came out. The Spectre Deck, did he come out? They had some Wu-Tang joints that they did. Who was that unofficial member of Wu-Tang? Capadonna. He came out.
I'm about to say Capadonna. Okay.
Well, he wasn't.
I wouldn't call him unofficial.
Well, he wasn't in the group at first. They added him later, but he was always with the group. That's what I mean by kind of unofficial. But he's definitely official now, obviously, but he wasn't always with by name in the group. But it was just like crazy, like the stamina of these two 50-year-olds. Is Method Man 50? I
mean, by the thirst traps I saw online, I guess it don't matter what he is.
It does not.
Yeah.
It does not. This man just gets better.
You're offended by thirst traps, but the thirst trap for Method Man is heavy.
I mean, he does not have to do anything to be a thirst trap. He ain't even out here trying. He just living. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Hey, when I be on here talking about Masende and Maria Taylor and people like that, you give me my space.
Yeah, but I never called them thirst trap. See, let me redefine thirst trap. Thirst trap is when you are intentionally looking for, you're looking for some thirst. Like,
okay.
Like if I just went out here and posted a picture of myself in a bikini, I'm looking for somebody to look at it because I'm thirsty for the attention.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough. But all right. So who won?
Nobody. I mean, it was a concert at that point. It wasn't even a competition because they just so much of their stuff was done together. They were like a group. Redman and Method Man albums and stuff. I mean,
we can't declare a winner?
Nah. No.
Okay. Hey, fair enough.
Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know why they called it a versus because they didn't compete. It wasn't like, oh, here, a lot of it was just like a concert. And they even said it. This is what it's like to be at a Method Man and Redman concert. So it was just them putting on a show for because it was 420, How High. Mm-hmm. So it was like their How High versus.
Yeah. That's what's up.
I mean, it was great.
Did you watch those movies?
I saw the first one.
Yeah. What did you think of the first one?
Oh, it was horrible. But it's a cult classic. It is what it is. Classic.
Did you see Soul Plane? I mean, that's bad. But...
I would like to unsee Soul Plane.
So, yeah, okay. Cool. Nah, hey, listen, I'm sorry I missed it. I heard it was very good, actually. I heard it was very good.
Oh, it was excellent. I did not stop moving the entire time. Like, especially, when you be vibing and then you hear songs that you forgot about. And you're like, oh, shit. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a few friends of mine consider Redman the GOAT. I mean, point blank. Like, they'll just say that.
I've heard of people putting him in their top 5.
Yeah.
I've never heard of someone calling him the GOAT. I'm not going to take that away from them. But I could argue about worse people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
I mean, Eminem in Till I Collapse puts Reggie Redman like up there, like
Reggie
boom.
Noble.
Yeah, like he'll put him up there like ASAP.
Oh, Redman got bars for days. He's a very skilled lyricist.
Yeah. And,
even the new joint he dropped that night came on right after the verses. Fire.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry I missed it. But yeah, I heard it was very good. So I'll circle back on it.
It was definitely the verses I didn't know I needed to see and didn't know was coming. I just kind of stumbled upon it, to be honest, because I hadn't been checking like Instagram or anything like that. Like I was I was so thirsty to see this versus I signed up for Triller so I could watch it on a bigger screen.
Mm-hmm. What else you watching?
The regular stuff. So we didn't talk about this before. So this is the last season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and it has started, but we hadn't talked about me watching it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I'm a little sad.
I mean, is it good? Like what? Yeah, I mean, you brought up that it was coming up, but no, to your point, you haven't talked about how it's been. So has it been good?
It's been slightly entertaining, not as entertaining as it has in the past, because you can tell that they're kind of winding down. But what they've done is because it's been like the pandemic or whatever, like all of them are living in one house.
Okay, I mean, look, I could care less about them. So I'm going to ask a question right now that the only thing I care about, are they talking about the divorce?
No, because this was all filmed before. And actually,
all of it?
So I do want to say that I think it was in like episode 2 or 3, where someone, I think it was Chloe's friend, Malika, had asked Kim, so, how's everything going? Blah, 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 blah. Because he hasn't been in any episodes. Kim K's husband.
How often was he in it before?
Oh, he would pop up sporadically. Like in the beginning, he wasn't there a lot, but as they were kind of settling into their marriage, he popped in a lot. Like he was on almost every episode.
Oh, okay.
Like even if it was just for like one scene.
That's surreal for me. All right, keep going.
But it was brought up that he has been living in Wyoming. At that big old ranch house that they have there. And Malika had asked her if she wanted to talk about it. And she was just like, I'm not. She's like, I know a lot of people want to know what's going on with me and Kanye, but I don't want to talk about this particular issue on camera. And that's just where they left it.
So this would have been taped like during the pandemic?
No, we still in the pandemic. So
well, you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about during when it started.
Yes, it's been taped like months ago. I would say at least 5 months ago.
Okay.
But
I feel like when they okay. You know what? Sometimes I track news by our podcast, so I'll go back and view when we were talking about it. But I feel like they had ample opportunity to talk about that on the show. And she didn't want to do it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
She deaded that.
Yeah. It's like keeping up with them, like that's the only thing I even like would think to keep up with.
Well, that's keeping up with the Wests, technically.
Okay. But that's the main. All right, well, you know what? That's your wheelhouse. That's your wheelhouse. But
yes,
all right.
I have been keeping up with the Kardashians, and it's winding down.
Okay. Yeah. So when is the finale?
I think it's in 2 weeks because I had read that it was like only going to be 6 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw a preview for next week's episode, and that's when Kris Jenner is, crying about it, and they're having the talk with the crew and everybody about how they think it's time to end.
Now, glad you said the word Jenner, we ain't even talking about it in the news, but might as well talk about it now. I guess Catelyn is trying to put her, let me get my pronouns right, hat in the ring for governor of California. You saw that, right?
Oh, Caitlyn?
Catelyn, excuse me.
The human being formerly known as Bruce Jenner?
Correct.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
It's official.
Republican, no doubt.
Of course. Yeah. The party that is going extra hard to exclude that person. But,
and that was talked about very heavily on the series I Am Kate.
You watched that?
It was on for 2 seasons. It wasn't. It was all right. Well, but it was important. I felt like that was an important conversation because before the transition, I remember that Chris and the other members of the family were just, like, why, kind of, they have different views. They have more liberal views than he did. And they argued about their political views on that show. And then when he transitioned to now Caitlyn, she, amongst a group of transgender women, was literally the only conservative Republican amongst that group. And those transgender women were like, why would you be affiliated with a party that hates us? And she was just like, oh, no, you just don't understand, blah, 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 blah. Until there was something that happened. And it was showing her how that party reacts to transgenders. And that's when she finally was like, oh, okay, I never thought, blah, 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 blah. So at that point, I thought, well, maybe she's not going to be Republican anymore. But
I'm about to say, well, clearly that lesson didn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there was an episode where they met Hillary Clinton and she didn't want to meet Hillary because of all that other crap that had gone on with the emails. And I was like, really?
Ridiculous. But the point being, now she is running for governor of California. And you know what? Given the fact that, she's not Schwarzenegger, but the point is, California be on some like circus stuff sometimes. Yeah, she might win. So let's put it like that. But all right, so that's ended. Anything else you watching? A lot of the other shows winding down. We're getting to May.
I feel like all the shows that I said this before, but like Younger came back, and that's exclusively on Paramount Plus. Younger is a show I watched on TV Land for like 6 seasons, and then the pandemic slowed it down, so they had to skip last year. And then they came back on Paramount Plus, and that's the final season. So Mom, Superstore gone, Younger, last season of Supergirl, last season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm just running them off. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. Last season, This Is Us about to wind down. You
that's
said
next
it before. Year. I know. But they wound it down. No, look. Law and Order, we run along. They're going to do another crossover. That's the only thing I was going to say about that. They're going to do another crossover with Benson. I'm all for it. We're all in. Us in the Law and Order community are satisfied with what's happening.
Oh, yeah. Y'all thirsty. Y'all was real thirsty for Stable.
Oh, no. We did. Listen, make the show good again. That's all. Make Law and Order great again. Whatever the acronym would be for that. I don't got time to puzzle that out right now. But now, Sham, one thing I liked, we talked about Jeopardy. We've been invested in Jeopardy and the fate of it. And we talked about Aaron Rodgers. We talked about Alex Trebek when he was guiding along and he passed. And then Aaron Rodgers. Now, what we talked about before, fan service, has now been fulfilled. LeVar Burton will be a guest host of Jeopardy. That was announced this week. I'm very excited about this. I hope this will, I guess, springboard into him getting the job. There's no reason why he shouldn't have the job, right?
I'm with it.
Yeah. I'm totally with it. Like, they announced it like, why don't y'all calm down? We're going to get LeVar birthday here, okay? Like, that's basically what they did. Like, we're going to get him in here for a week. If he works out, maybe we'll calm y'all the hell down. Y'all stop asking us to have him guest host chapter, period. And I'm glad he wants to do it.
Yeah. I think it would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Paramount Plus for a second, I forgot to mention, so I think I was kind of lukewarm on Paramount Plus at first, but I've settled into about 4 shows now. But what I'm more excited about is what's coming up. They're bringing back Behind the Music. They're bringing back MTV.
Behind the Music is awesome.
Awesome. They're bringing back Unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
They're bringing
Unplugged
back.
Was good.
They're bringing back Road Rules, which
Unplugged was versus with one person.
Unplugged was just acoustic. Was just live music time.
Why don't you just show up and do a set? Thanks.
But it had to be live. So what was great about Unplugged was the first hip hop artist to do it was LL Cool J. So, hip hop artists were always used to just having their DJ spin. Mm-hmm. So they had to hire a band and they had to pretty much transcribe everything and arrange it to fit instruments. So when I remember when they did Mama Said Knock You Out, it sounded like a rock song because of like how the instruments had to interpret the track from Mama Said Knock You Out. I thought it was like, it was really great that they had done that because you could hear the music from a different perspective. So when Jay-Z did it, of course, he had the roots. And I mean, that just was amazing. Mm-hmm. But they're bringing back Road Rules, which I'm super duper excited about because I've been saying since the beginning, like, yo, y'all keep doing these real world, bring back Road Rules because, I like the challenge. And for me, the challenge is really great when you have Road Rules, you have true like MTV players in it. So I'm glad they're doing that. And finally, they are bringing back Yo MTV Raps.
What's my man's name?
Bad Five Freddy. Oh, you talking about Ed Lover and Dr. Dre?
Ed Lover, yeah. Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, exactly.
Ed Lover has an outstanding podcast.
I'm sure it is. It's basically probably Yo MTV Raps for a podcast.
Nah. He just does one-on-ones with people. It's a really dope podcast. I remember one really good episode he did was about mental health in the Black male community. That was an excellent episode.
I got you. I guess what I was saying was Yo MTV Raps was kind of like a podcast, like before podcasts.
It was a video show. It just showed videos.
That's what I was saying, in my opinion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I like it. Good. So they got all those things.
Yep.
That's what's up. So I know you are, as you said, excited for Road Rules. You are way into Road Rules, like Real World, all that stuff. Yeah. Weren't you watching Real World, like the reunion or whatever? Has that wrapped up?
The Homecoming? Yeah.
Yes.
It was only 6 episodes.
Okay.
So they stayed in the original loft for like a week. I don't know if I brought it up before, but Eric Nice wasn't there.
No, you definitely did.
Because he had COVID, so he had to stay separate from the group. Becky left. She never came back. And then... and
they were like 50 years old.
Yeah. But they were having the same argument that they had in 1992.
Yeah. We brought it up before, and you were talking about maybe they might go to the Real World, like Road Rules reunion special, whatever.
Oh, the All-Stars?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, none of them are in that.
And yeah, we sussed that out. But I didn't know if there was any new development from that. Yeah.
Nah. The All-Stars, They're just, most of them are like in their mid 40s, early 50s, still doing challenges.
Gotcha. Well,
pulling
look,
hammies.
So, all right, we had an ending. We had a finale.
Did we have
last
a finale?
Friday? We did.
Oh, okay.
On Friday.
I mean,
last
I don't
Friday.
know. Like, I had a finale. You know, sometimes you don't be watching.
I watched it. So we wrapped up Well, okay. Falcon and Winter Soldier or Captain America and Winter Soldier. So whatever you want to call it.
We started the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and we wrapped at Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So Sham, look, I guess all my little concerns like factually were addressed. But you know me, I got smoke. I have smoke. So, I mean, I'll let you go first. What did you think of Captain America and Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier? However you want to adjust.
I think what happened with this show is what happens with a lot of shows. It takes a while to make sense. And then once it does make sense, they rush to end it. Like, I kind of felt like, you know, the first 3 episodes, the show really didn't start until like the 4th episode, to be honest. Like, the first 3 was just like, okay, you know, here we go, going through the motions, blah, blah, blah. 4th episode, when fake Captain America lost his mind and took the serum and shit and started, you know, there's never been blood on the shield. That's just, yeah, you don't, there's never been blood on the shield. And he killed the wrong person. That dude didn't even do it. And he kept thinking the dude did it when it was clearly the girl. I didn't understand that.
Actually, no, he was lying.
He was lying that he did it?
Yes.
So he could justify the killing?
Correct. Okay. In my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense too. But I was just like, he knows it wasn't him. Like, it didn't help his cause anyway. But yeah, I just think that a lot of things, the storytelling was kind of lagging at first. And then by like the end of it, like 5 and 6, I felt like were 2 different shows.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? You thank you. Because my concern at the beginning was that we only had 6 shows. Now, you did tell me, and you were right, that I was comparing to WandaVision, and in terms of screen time, it had longer time per episode. So that wasn't quite a concern at the beginning. But as we're getting through these, I was getting concerned. Like, hey, man, we don't got time for all this. Like, you need to wrap this up. On top of that. Now, a couple things. Number one, hey, Sam, they addressed the issue with the boat and the loan. I feel like they took the scenic route to do something. They didn't even have... Apparently, we didn't need a loan to fix this situation. Okay? So why did we even go through all that? Apparently, all we needed was a glorified GoFundMe with the community to like help the boat. That's fine. Now, I do like they went extra hard at 5 and 6. To your point, 5 and 6 were basically like a whole different series from everything else. They went neck deep into like the racial issues, the social issues and all that. They could have spread that out over the whole show and it would have been like, man, like they could have forgot the stupid stuff about the loan and all that. And just focus on what they focused on in 5 and 6. That's all they had to do.
That loan really got under your skin.
Oh my God, it got so under my skin. And the fact that it wasn't even like relevant at the end, it was like, oh, well, we didn't even need a loan, did we? So we just made them look dumb for no reason.
Or they could have just been like, you know what? We figured out another way. Not necessarily that we didn't need it. They'll just figure out another way.
Well, if we figured out another way, you could have figured out another way before you did all that.
They didn't know that.
You know what?
Some people don't think that way.
Don't even get me started.
I'm just saying.
And by the way, apparently his position was paid. He was a member of the government. So the reason he didn't get that loan now gets under my skin anymore. But either way, the point
He's a
being,
veteran.
Exactly. They
get the worst treatment out of anybody, especially homeless veterans.
They're programs for. He's not homeless. You know what? Stop. Anyway, so he's like, stop. But you get on us scared about the law. But look, Jamel Hill said this, and I couldn't put my thoughts to it when I was watching it. I saw this today. I watched it when it came out. Why is Sam the most naive out of like everybody in his conversations? When he's sitting there talking, even when he's sitting there talking to Bucky, and Bucky's like, when Bucky said, and I said this to my friends, we were all watching. When Bucky was like, you know what, when Steve gave up the shield to you, I didn't realize what that meant and what kind of problems there would be to give the shield to a black man and make a black man Captain America. And I'm paraphrasing. These aren't the exact words. And then Sam says, I didn't either. Okay, there are two people in that conversation that shouldn't have realized that will be a problem. The fact that Bucky is the one that seems the most woke in that conversation is a problem. And even Jamel Hill was like, why does Sam seem the most naive out of everybody out here? Like, it's just bothering me. I like Sam as a person. I like he's a moral person and all that. But even when the show is seeming to put him in a position where he's realizing stuff, it's like, no, fam, I don't like the execution of that because it seems like you just woke up yesterday. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
He was in the blip for 5 years. He just woke up a month ago.
What was he doing before those? Before the blip? like
he just woke up last month.
Sorry.
What you mean?
I'm sorry. A lot of people woke up out of the blip and resumed their life and had sense like they had before the blip. I'm sorry. But look, I'm gonna say this, Sham. Episode 5 was my favorite episode. Not even the finale. Episode 5 was my favorite.
Yeah.
Like I remember,
I like 4 and 5.
I remember in 5. Now, to your point, I mean, you know, Trash Cap going ham, and any Julia Louis Dreyfus. I'm a Seinfeld fan. I love her showing up, so she showed up in 5.
I thought about you when she came on the screen.
Yeah, and she's awesome. She's awesome.
Veep.
That's Elaine Bennis. But nah. But in all seriousness, no, it was fine. It was fine. It was good. And I did like the dialogue between Sam and Bucky towards the end, where they were resolving things and they were kind of talking through the issues and stuff. Yeah, I thought that was necessary. And if nothing else, I like Bucky, man.
Bucky has been redeemed completely. Like from being Winter Soldier to now, well, I think he will become the White Wolf probably by the end of the movie. Yeah. But the only real issue, because I never had a problem with any of the action. Any chance I get to see Bucky beat somebody up, I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. And even the scenes where Sam is the Falcon, I think they do those pretty well. However, I feel like there was a big chunk missing. Like, okay, you went from episode 5 where he was practicing the shield and, you know, outside using it and getting used to throwing the shield and getting it back and all that kind of stuff. We went from that to him in full Captain America suit with Falcon wings and Red Wing and all that stuff. I'm like, what did I miss here? Like,
well, I feel like they did show, like, he was struggling at first. They did. Then
That's
he
what I
could
just
at least
said.
handle
He
the
was.
shield.
He was practicing. But then episode 6, he shows up in full uniform, ready to go. Like, okay, when did Red Wing come back? Because that got destroyed. Like, I felt like there was a piece missing from going to practicing to be Captain America to just showing up and being full out Captain America.
Okay,
it was a jump to me.
I'm being more forgiving on that. I feel like they established that the new and improved suit was in the case. And I feel like the little montage was kind of like a Rocky IV, situation where he was struggling at first, but that he eventually at the end, you're supposed to understand that, okay, he can handle it now. And then at the end of it, he can handle the suit.
Man, we didn't get to the end. He just showed up first scene. Here I am to save the world. Like, yo, what?
I'm talking about the end of 4. Well, look, apparently it wasn't as smooth. The landing wasn't as smooth
it was
for
not.
you as it was for me. Okay, I got you. I got Rocky IV vibes from, he was training, he was struggling at first, and then he finally got it.
Yeah, but at least there were a few more scenes before the fight. he wasn't just training and then end up in the ring.
and they set it up like, look, the suit's inside the case. Like, they even said it's from Wakanda. So he had to come. I guess, homeboy gets taken into custody by the Wakandans, I guess. I don't know. I was never in favor of releasing him in the first place. And honestly, fam, Sokovia, I get it, but you killed T'Chaka. You should be fine right now.
Yeah, his only purpose was to help them find the dude that was making the serum.
Yeah.
And
then making Sharon we knew she was a power broker.
Yeah, I said that early. That was very clear.
But I like that. Hey, that pardon was way too late. Y'all left her twisted in the wind.
Yeah, but now she's a bad guy. So exactly. We'll see how that plays out in Captain America 4, because that was announced after the release of the last episode. So
yeah, that was something else she had. So we'll see. A little bridge to another movie. I think they're still leaving the door open to the series as well.
I don't. Not from what I read.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Close the door.
I think this is one and done, because this was just a bridge to the movie. That's why they waited to announce the movie after the final episode. So next up is Loki, which starts June 11th, and that's already has its season 2. So we're going to see the first season. Yeah, that's already been signed up for season 2. So we know that that's going to continue.
I thought they usually wait till at least the first episode's been seen. Wow.
Told you, I've been reading stuff.
Yeah, you're all in it. You're ready for Loki too.
Yeah, I am. Are you ready for some sports?
Always. Let's go.
What's happening in the round balled world?
Look.
Of the round ball.
We're coming down to this thing. But as we come down, we have a couple of retirements. Now, we saw coming. Rory Williams. You said it best. He looked you didn't use the word disheveled. I'll say disheveled. I forget the word you used, but either way, that man was at the end of his rope. Put it that way. So Rory Williams retired from UNC since we last taped. Thoughts?
Nah, I mean, he retired before we last taped, because when we talked about Hubert Davis and him talking about how proud he was to be married to a white woman.
Oh, God. Man, you know what? I forgot. I overlooked the Hubert Davis madness. Man, you know what? Forget that. Yeah, Rory Williams let's leave your retirement like that and forget Hubert Davis. Oh my God. LaMarcus Aldridge, though, had he retired though?
No, that I actually just saw the beginning of this week, which I thought was interesting that he ended up with the Nets and then was like, yeah, I gotta retire. But he's got what, some type of heart.
No, it was a health issue. Yeah.
It's a heart condition of some sort.
He had an irregular heartbeat. So
okay.
He left the game with a regular heartbeat, went, talked to the trainer, then talked to his doctor, then retired. So it just happened right after the trade. So it had nothing to do with team, anything like that. He just jumped out there. So, Sham, how would you encapsulate LaMarcus Aldridge, his career?
Well, I think the first part of his career when he was in Portland, I think, was more, I don't know. I think it's I don't want to say underachieving, but I guess that's probably a good word. Like it was like unfulfilling, like kind of like that. When he came out of Texas, he was like a big deal, and even in Portland, he was a double every night. Like even now, after having not so great seasons in San Antonio, his career average is still a double.
Yeah.
But I think what really just kind of soured me on him was when he went to San Antonio and he just became a shell of himself. And I think he put up big numbers in Portland, but I don't think he ever made that team better. So when he went to San Antonio, I was like, okay, he's gonna be playing with Pop. Pop's gonna make a basketball player out of him for sure, because he's already got the talent. But that just never came to fruition, and he struggled there. So when I heard that he was getting when they, the trade to the Nets happened, I was like, okay, well maybe he can revitalize.
Yeah.
But that just didn't happen. So I would say he was a pretty good player up until a certain point, and those skills just diminished because I just didn't think he jived well with the San Antonio organization.
No, very, very disappointing with San Antonio. Just like you said, potential unfulfilled up in Portland. He was with Dame for a little while, right? A couple of years, right?
Maybe like his first couple.
Yeah. In general, great player, but good decision. I mean, you say good decision like it's a hard decision. I mean, you have an irregular heartbeat. Everyone remembers Reggie Lewis, so it's one of those things like you don't want down the court. And on top of that, everything you just said, it just didn't work out with Pop for some reason. And the fact that Pop was even willing to let him go is like, if Pop says he can't coach you, maybe it can't work. You're an empirically good basketball player, but you don't got what it takes to make it on a winner. But either way, great career individual. Now, the reason this is so poignant is because Jordan Reed also retired this week.
He needed to retire.
We both said it on this show. Jordan Reed should have retired. And honestly, when I read the story, I got even more mad. He clearly retired because he, he's been seeing a neurologist, and the neurologist thankfully was like, you need to retire, fam. Like, you haven't taken a hit in months, and I'm telling you right now, you need to retire. Jordan Reed had 7 concussions. In the NFL, he had several concussions in high school and college. And he said that normally, quote unquote, he would get up, play, and then feel dizzy later. The only problem I have with Jordan Reed's career is that no one outside of Jordan Reed stopped him from playing football. including Kyle Shanahan, who brought him into San Francisco. But like, I'm not even going to just lay this just on him. Everybody along the way, that man has 7 concussions in the NFL. I mean, after concussion number 2, at minimum, what are y'all doing? Washington Redskins at the time, San Francisco Giants. What are y'all doing? Or, excuse me, 49ers. What are y'all doing? It's ridiculous.
I mean, and outside of that, that obviously that's the most important, the concussion issue. But I mean, this dude had hamstring injuries. He had toe injuries. He sprained his MCL. Like, he was literally on injured reserve for at least one game every season.
Yeah. But like, if Jordan Reed ever like does anything, I want Jordan Reed monitored, like, period. And I hate to even say it like that, but it's got to be said. 7 concussions? Like, whatever. But to your point, they were just using him like chattel. Like, he whatever was injured. Oh, he's got hamstring injury. Let's bring him back after 7 weeks. He's a good player. Yeah, they don't care about these guys, man. Whatever.
Well, best of luck to him.
I mean, continue to be monitored, continue to seek help, period. Now, one guy who, on that same vein, I like that he came forward, Justin Fields for Ohio State. Told the NFL, told the guy, listen, he suffers from epilepsy. He has seizures. This all came out. There's been a lot of stuff around Justin Fields. He was a presumptive, top 5 pick, and he's dropped. And there's been a whole lot of speculation about whether it's been about race and this and that. Black quarterback from Ohio State, what have you. That's fine. I do like that it came out that he had epilepsy. He told the teams about it. It hasn't seemed to be a problem. But the point being, that's how you deal with it. Put your health issue out there. Let the team help you manage it. And I do like that. I like that story as we get closer to the draft. Draft is next week. Shan, what the Eagles talking about?
I don't know. I don't talk about football until August.
Hey, look, no news is good. Right? No news is good news with us, too. I didn't even talk about politics. I own a Dennis Menace. Mark Davis decided it'd be a good idea doing the Chauvin verdict to say, I can breathe, and put that on a tweet, put that on the team website. That's the greatest news for the week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then was like, he got lucky that George Floyd's brother bailed him out. Was like, I understand what he was trying to do. But everybody else was like, you choose to speak and you say that? Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Your haircut's Dennis the Menace. You might not be the best person to comment on current events. You don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, draft next week. Look. So, Sham, what we got for the playoffs? NBA. Are you interested?
I think I'm going to make myself interested because you know why? I didn't realize that the play-in thing was like going to be a thing. Like I thought they just did it last year because of the bubble situation, but no, the play-in games are an actual thing.
Hey, listen, I had a big argument with one of my friends who we know. The Wizards are making the play-in game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wizards playing all right. Russell Westbrook for president. We've been big Russ fans on this show for good or for ill. And look, every game I watch Russ, I love him, but I'm like, Russ, what the hell are you doing? You're an idiot. Like half the time.
We've always questioned his decision making at the end of games.
He leaves his brain at home, but he brings his heart every game. Like half the time, I was like, Russ, that was so stupid.
Like, but just be throwing the ball all over the court in the last 5 minutes.
Yes. Like, what are you doing? but I love how he plays, man. He's definitely my favorite player. There's no question. But listen, Wizards 9-1 last 10 games. Period. Actually 10-0 at this point. But We're gonna make the play-in, Sam. I mean, the play-in's a circus.
It's the 7 through 10 teams.
Yeah, 7 through 10. And I am adamant. This is the argument I had earlier, but apparently, like, I'm saying they changed the rules because I'm telling you right now, I know as of last week it was 7 versus 10 to 8 versus 9. But anyway, now it's 7 versus 8 and 9 versus 10. I don't know. But the point being,
I don't like that. It should be 7, 10, 8, 9.
That's what I thought it was. But anyway, the 10th seed, as long as you get in the 10th seed, there's a play-in game and 8 versus 9 play-in. They play each other, they get in. The Wizards are in the driver's seat for that, period. So they're approximately, I mean, Wizards had some COVID issues, so they have about 13, 14 games. But everybody says 10, 11, 12 games. Point being, the Wizards are making the playoffs. We finally got our act together. We're like 7 games below 500. The fact that I'm even saying this is a travesty. But Russ and Brad and everybody else, Russ is playing great. Russ is breaking like the triple-double record, not only for the Wizards, but like he's gonna probably surpass Oscar Robertson, if not this season, when he comes back with the Wiz next season. Yeah, Russ for president. I'm all in. In other NBA news, Brooklyn's balling.
That's not news.
Look, I'm giving the current events.
They're currently balling.
Lakers floundering. They need LeBron and AD back ASAP because they keep falling down the rankings.
Man, they the 5th seed. They're gonna be in there.
Yeah. Well, they keep losing. Yeah, I mean they're gonna get to the playoffs, but point being, a couple Knicks. I mean, unfortunately, you have to say it. They're 9-1. They're playing great.
They're the 4th. They're 4th. They're 34 and 27. They're tied with Atlanta though.
Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau.
Magic.
Yeah. See, but you know what? Hopefully it's the 1 year Thibodeau and then he wears on everybody and then, runs it, grounds them to a nub, or either he quits, one or two. Hopefully. Sixers, no well. Boston's kind of up and down. Bucks.
Boston should be a lot better than they're much better on paper than they are in real life.
Absolutely. A lot of people calling for Brad Stevens' head up there, actually.
It might be time. He's been there for a minute.
I'll take Brad Stevens in a minute, get Scott Brooks out of here. Yeah. So, NBA regular season will be over in essentially second week of May. So, normally it's like this. Normally it's like right now. Regular season's over.
Utah is balling. And speaking of Utah, what's your thoughts about Dwyane Wade becoming a minority owner?
I like Dwyane Wade. Because, listen, I know I had my thoughts about him participating in the All-Star game, but in general, I love Dwyane Wade. I like him on TV. I like his moves in general outside of basketball, and even when he was a player, I respect him a lot. I always find it curious when guys have a minority stake in the team that has like absolutely nothing to do with them, which I guess by definition that has to be a reason. So there's no conflict of interest, I guess. But
look,
the Utah Jazz, I would rather be someone different.
Look, as soon as that was announced, Mickey Arison came out and was like, look, basically, I'm paraphrasing. Dwyane got a better opportunity in Utah than he got here, pretty much. They offered him a stake in the team in Miami, and Utah had a better offer on the table, so he went with Utah.
So why didn't he give him a better offer?
Look, I wasn't in the room.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not asking you that. I'm saying, yeah, no, it sounded like it was, but I wasn't asking you that. I mean, why bother coming out with a statement explaining why he did it if you're not going to explain?
I think he was just trying
why he made that decision.
like the body cam footage. I think he was trying to get ahead of it because naturally people were going to say, well, why the Jazz, not the Heat? They were going to assume that the Heat didn't put anything on the table.
That's the perfect analogy because like the body cam footage, you think you're doing a good thing, but it's like, okay, well, thank you for doing that. So now we have a bunch of additional questions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things like transparency is good. So now we have a bunch of questions. And hopefully you anticipated them. Number one, you're making a statement like he had a better opportunity there than he did here. Why is that? And there's not a bad answer to that. Well, no, there are plenty of bad answers to that. The point being, you can give us a good answer to that. I'm open to it. Why?
He put it out there like that we did what we can do to try to get Dwyane Wade to be an owner here.
We wanted it. He was tripping.
But he decided to go there.
Yeah. So, hey, you know what? I respect that. Hey, listen, we made him. You know where I'm at. I always say, if we make you a fair offer, Chan, then and you don't take it, okay, well, nice knowing. I'm not going to talk bad about you.
And I think that's exactly what he was trying to say.
Yeah. All right, and then I'm with that. That was my Bryce Harper argument. We made you a fair offer. We're not trying to screw you. If we're not trying to screw you and we make you a fair offer and you say bye, then yeah, to your point, I'm getting out in front of the story. We made him what we felt was a fair offer. This is not like us trying to pinch pennies. Okay, they gave him a third of the team. Well, we're not willing. Shane, what I say all the time, you want my girl that bad, you can take her. Like, I come to a restaurant, you want my girl that bad, she can come sit with you. Don't worry about it.
I think it was probably one of them situations where, say Miami did offer him a third of a team and Utah also offered him a third of a team. What's the value of the team? What is that third in Utah only going to cost me $20 million, while that third in Miami is going to cost me $30 million? So
yeah, but at the same time, it costs more because it's worth more.
True, but
yeah,
Utah is. I mean, you can't sneeze at it. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to make an analogy, but like it had to have been something like that. Like maybe he could get more for his money, more shares for his money there than he would. And for him, it was like more about the ownership than the actual, I don't know.
Something tells me it's a little bit more personal because they allowed personal feelings to get in the way when he left in the first place to go to Chicago. And yeah, he eventually made it back. But the point is, it got a little contentious on the turn. It turned on a dime, like on some like small contentious stuff, where it was like, yeah, I could have worked that out. So, you know what I'm saying? And so I think they're kind of like they're a couple that they go up and down.
I think they made their amends for that thing, though.
Well, that's my point, though. Yeah. That's the nature of their relationship. Well, sometimes things could turn.
Yeah. Whatever they offered, Dwyane Wade was like, thanks, but no thanks. And he went someplace else.
I got you. Well, we going someplace else?
I don't know where you going, but I'm going to wrap up this episode.
We're going someplace else. Look at us. I think that's where I'm at.
I never even told people where to find us, but I'm going to tell them now.
No, you did not.
Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode of the Stop Playing Podcast. You can find us at www.stopplayingpodcast.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll see all the podcast platforms we're available on. Choose your favorite provider. You can also catch us on Facebook and Instagram at the Stop Playing Podcast and on Twitter at Stop_Playing Pod. Also, you can tune into our YouTube channel at the Stop Playing Podcast. If you have any questions, concerns, topics that you would like us to discuss, please email us at info@stopplayingpodcast.com. And like we always say, no double dipping unless it's the podcast. Keep your chips on the plate, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Later, guys.
Stop playing.